Squirrels! Whoa, slow down there, soldier. Just before we begin, I will say that this is the beginning of spoiler season, and I will be streaming from tomorrow, about an hour before when spoilers come out, and talking about cards and things like that, and going over them as the cards come out. So if you want to hop on to my stream tomorrow and all of the rest of spoiler season as well, come and join where I'll be talking about the cards and having fun and, building decks when we get enough cards to start building decks with, and just having a general good time. So be there for that, and with that said, let's jump into the video. So hello and welcome to another Legends of Runeterra video. My name is Chris, and today is the day we've been waiting for. Today begins spoiler season. Now, how many spoilers we're going to get, they will be very limited today, but from tomorrow onwards we should be getting the full real-time, big-time spoilers, and we have Ava's video to sort of go through and nitpick. Haven't seen it yet, so let's dive in and see what it's all about.
Outside Bandle City, merit badges only get you so far. Underwater basket weaving? Not so practical after all. But if you take your nose out of your handbook, you'll realize there's a lot more to discover. Like unexpected friends. In unusual places. And there are so many unusual places.
Okay, so that pretty much confirms 2 champions at the very least, from what I could see. Obviously, it's canon, and is it Ari? Is Ari her name? I always forget her name. The Catwoman. But yes, we know these 2 champions, and these are going to be the Ionian champions. And in the tweet here, you can see that they mention Ionia as well. So we can assume that they are going to be the Ionian champions. I don't know if I missed anything else. There's those 2 there. That's not a reference to anything I'm quite sure of, as they electrify them. So it seems like those are going to be the Ionian champions, and then we got this rock. I'm not sure if that's a reference to anything. If you do know, then let me know. Here's the materials needed thing again. This was a reference to the first part, and they have some. She gets this, I guess. So they get that from Ionia, and off she goes to what looks like a sort of wolf thing, some kind of monster thing. Anyway, we know we're in Ionia. We know these 2 champions are going to be there, so that's very exciting. Let's see what else we got. So here they are, the first 3 cards, all Bandle City cards in some way or another, and so let's talk about them. So the first one is Minion, which is actually a Shadow Isles Bandle City card, a 2-mana 2/1 last breath. Create a copy of me in hand at round end. Ooh. Last breath, create a copy of me in hand at round end. So this, instantly kind of reminds me of Lost Soul, but it's kind of like in a different way. It's kind of like Lost Soul for Shadow Isles in a way, which is kind of a cool thing, right? So it's a last breath effect, and then you create a copy of me. So anytime it dies, you get a copy in hand. Is there anything like recursive that you can do with that? My initial thought, because I don't know, it always comes back to this card with me, but Insightful Investigator obviously draws you a card every time you play a 2-mana card. This would be a recursive, 2-mana card that you could consistently play over and over again and keep drawing cards, which I don't know if that would be, if that's worth anything, but it's certainly an interesting idea, because this is obviously a 2-mana card that you can just consistently play. Other than that, I mean, again, it's got a last breath effect, so any last breath things that you can think of that it synergizes with, or things dying often, would be something as well. If there's some way to cheat this out for free, I don't know. Those are things that come to my head, but there's potential with this card. This is a difficult card to summarize in the moment, because there's potential, and I'm sure there's something that I'm missing, and you're all going to be like, oh, what about this card, this obvious synergy, and I'm going to be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So this card has some potential, but we'll see. Then we have Yodel Captain, which is just a Bandle City card. A 4-mana 4/4, also a Yodel. We haven't really seen much payoff for that yet, but let's see. When you summon another ally with equal or less power than me, grant it 1/1. Whoa. So obviously a kind of similar to Poppy effect. When you summon another ally with equal or less power, grant it 1/1? For a 4-mana 4/4? Is that not insanely good? Is that not just like, you know, when I first saw Poppy, it was kind of like, I had the same reaction where, isn't that just like a ton of value? Can't you just play this with things like House Spider or Mirai Warden and just get like a ton of value? Like go really wide and just do something crazy like that? Maybe like a crowd favorite deck or something? You know, like a go wide kind of aggro board centric deck? It seems like a possibility to me. I don't know. This seems like a really strong card. And it doesn't help the fact that I'm, you know, very worried about Poppy and Poppy decks in general. But I will say that this card might slow them down a bit. That because of the inclusion of this card and being a 4-mana card, this might force them to sort of come back a bit and, you know, sort of retreat a bit. But I could definitely see something maybe... Ooh, I don't know. It's going to be interesting, right? Like, could you play like Bandle City? Because obviously you have to be in Bandle City for this card. I'm very glad it's not a dual region card, this one, so that you have to commit to Bandle City. But maybe like Bandle City, either Demacia, Bandle City Bilgewater, maybe with like Misfortune, maybe Bandle City Noxus, as I said, with crowd favorite. This card definitely has a lot of potential. And then the last one is Grumble Slug, which is a 2-mana 2/3 attune in Bilgewater and Bandle City. So Bandle City also kind of gets access to attune there as well. I wouldn't worry too much about this one. We haven't seen this kind of effect really be too worrying, and I don't think that this will be good enough to see play. I kind of almost, like this kind of thing, I'd almost be interested. What if they printed a 4/2 with just like a word, like a keyword on it? That might be an interesting design choice, as long as it's not like quick attack. So yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about this one. I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. But the other two I'm kind of interested in. So Minion overall, I'm gonna give maybe a 6.5 out of 10 to. It has potential, and this is one of those cards where in the moment I just, you know, maybe can't give this proper evaluation. If someone comes up with a crazy good combo for it, then obviously it could be like a 9 out of 10, a 10 out of 10 if it's really good. I doubt that will be the case with this specific effect. It seems like a more balanced Lost Soul, if I'm being honest. So, you know, I think that it will be okay, especially if someone can find the right tools for it to be a combo piece. Yodel Captain is definitely a card that will see play. This is like a solid 8, in my opinion. Like, this is a strong card. And again, doesn't help the whole idea of Bandle City just having way better cards than everything else. Like, this is a strong card. The 4 health means that, you know, this isn't the easiest thing to remove. And similar to, like, you know, I mean, Bandle City Mare as well. Like, you know, all these cards, the Mare, the Yodel Captain here, Poppy, they're all just fitting into this same deck. And that deck is already good. Like, I think that that's what it'll probably be, right? It'll probably be the replacement for Bandle Tree, where instead of using Mare and, you know, Telescope and Conchologist in those kind of decks, there instead with a Bandle Tree, instead you'll just, you know, use this in forget the Bandle Tree, you'll remove that and you'll play for a more sort of mid-range board-centric game plan. And given the fact that you have Poppy, Mare, and this card, you should be fine. Like, seriously, you should be fine. I mean, imagine, you know, you play this and you play it into Lecturing Yodel that becomes a 4/6. And then you play that into Poppy and you buff them all to a 5/5, a 5/7, and a 5/4. Why did they print this again? Like, this is all the deck is going to miss, right? That's literally, it's a good thing they nerfed Tenor of Terror, by the way. Because again, this card would have been problematic probably with that card as well. This is going to cause issues. And maybe you'd put Tenor of Terror back in, to be honest. Because with this card, you know, you're kind of getting it back, you know, the nerfs that it got. And more. So, yeah, this is a bit worrying. No doubt. Definitely a bit of a worry. This card, a very strong card. And I, again, am quite concerned about Bandle City as a whole. But that is it for today. That is today's spoilers. Very interesting day. Obviously, we know at least 2 of the champions that are coming. And so that should be pretty exciting. Can't wait for them. And yeah, we'll be back tomorrow, of course. And with that said, thank you so much for watching and have a really nice day.